Bradford City kick off the 2025 winter deadline day with a bang as former loanee Romoney Crichlow has returned to the club on a permanent basis on a deal until the end of this season. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. But following the injury news of Kieran Kelly, it sounds like that is going to be a pretty serious injury for him, which is a big shame. We know we needed to go out and recruit another left-sided centre-half with our only other left-sided centre-half in Jack Shepherd, recently playing a lot of football in the middle. But Bradford City tweeted today at 10:30 AM saying, "We are delighted to announce the permanent signing of Romoney Crichlow from Peterborough United until the end of the season with an option of a further year." The article does then read, "Crichlow makes City return. Bradford City AFC is delighted to announce the permanent signing of Romoney Crichlow from Peterborough United until the end of the season with an option of a further year." The central defender is no stranger to the University of Bradford Stadium, having spent the 2022-23 season with the Bantams on loan from Huddersfield Town. Crichlow was part of the City squad which reached the Sky Bet League 2 playoffs that campaign, making 41 appearances. The 25-year-old featured 33 times for Sky Bet League 1 side Peterborough United after joining the Posh at the start of last season. He spent the first half of this season at Dagenham and Redbridge, making 12 outings and finding the back of the net once. On his return, Crichlow said, "I am really pleased to be back and I'm very excited to get going again. Once I found out there was some interest and the opportunity came up, it was a no-brainer for me. The obvious reason I wanted to return here was the fans and all the good times I had here." City boss Graham Alexander added, "After speaking with Rom yesterday, his excitement about returning was clear to me. We believe he fits the profile of what we are looking for, and having experience of playing for Bradford City already, he understands the challenge. We look forward to helping him produce his best football again. Romoney will wear the number 30 shirt during his time with the club and be sponsored by School of Rock. This move is subject to the relevant EFL checks." Obviously, with him signing from another club, Peterborough United tweeted today at 10:30 AM saying, "Romoney Crichlow has joined Sky Bet League 2 side Bradford City on a permanent deal. The defender made 33 appearances for us and was part of the squad that won the Bristol Street Motors Trophy last season. We wish him all the best for the future." Their article does then read, "Crichlow departs for Bantams. Defender Romoney Crichlow has joined Bradford City on a permanent deal. Peterborough United defender Romoney Crichlow has joined Sky Bet League 2 side Bradford City on a permanent deal, with the 25-year-old completing the formalities on Monday morning. Crichlow made 33 appearances for Posh during his time at the club, helping Darren Ferguson's men lift the Bristol Street Motors Trophy last term at Wembley Stadium. We would like to wish Romoney all the best for the future." Before we do go any further though with today's video, don't forget to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 200 likes on today's video? That would be massively appreciated. And don't forget to get your thoughts in on this signing down in the comment section down below. Bradford fans, Peterborough fans, let me know your thoughts down below. Now, it has been a very weird couple of years for Romoney Crichlow. Obviously spent the 22-23 season with us. We got to the League 2 playoff at semi-finals, then joined Peterborough United on, I believe, a 2-year contract. Started playing a lot of games for them at the beginning of the 23-24 season. Eventually found himself out of the side and was largely used as a substitute. This season was basically frozen out of the squad. You had their owner constantly talking about how he needs to leave the club on his podcast, which I don't think was the right thing to do. I think for the large part I agree with quite a lot of what Darren McAntony said, but his treatment of Crichlow did seem a little bit bizarre. He was constantly saying that, you know, Crichlow needs to leave, and there's a few others as well, like Shamanga, David Ajaboy, all that sort of stuff. And as maybe it didn't really work out for Romoney Crichlow, I think he struggled with the step up in League 1. There were certainly flaws in his game when he was in League 2 with Bradford City, but he was, I think, 23 when he signed for Peterborough. Now he's 25. He spent a little bit of this season on loan in the National League with Dagenham and Redbridge, where he did play the 10 matches in total, played 900 minutes as well. Did get that one goal with a 20% goal conversion rate. His passing stats don't look too bad, to be fair. Some of the National League stats on SofaScore can be a little bit dodgy at times, as we can see here. They're just a little bit all over the place. So we're not going to dive too deeply is what I meant to say, into his stats from his time in the National League. We'll have a look at League 1 for last season, as he's not played a single league minute for Peterborough this year. Last year then, he made the 22 appearances, but only 8 of them being starts, playing only the 850 minutes. He did not score, but his passing stats were pretty good, to be fair. 89% in his own half, 84% total as well, with 33% of his long balls being accurate. Defensively, not amazing in all honesty. One error which led to a goal, just just the 2 clean sheets, and as you can see, overall, defensively not great in League One. His duel stats though are pretty impressive, 71% on the ground he wins, but only 55% in the air. He's really poor for a centre-half, and that's something we'll go on to talk about later on in today's video. But I think we all remember Romoney Crichlow from his time with Bradford City in that 22-23 season, where he was absolutely excellent for the large part for us. 34 games played, 29 starts, playing nearly 2,700 minutes in that season. He did score. His only goal was away to Northampton in the 94th minute. What a day that was. And he also got the 1 assist as well. Passing stats this time round weren't as good. 84% in his own half, 76% total. 39% though of his long balls being accurate. With how direct we like to play under Graham Alexander, I can certainly see them being very useful for us. Defensively, 9 clean sheets, and his stats do look a little bit better here. 1 penalty offence committed, which I can't quite remember off the top of my head. 1 error which led to a goal, which was Gillingham at home when Tim Dieng scored, and I can't remember when the other error which led to a shot was. But 9 clean sheets in the 29 starts isn't awful, in honesty. I do have my concerns about this signing, but it's only until the end of the season, so hopefully Crichlow can find his best football once again at Bradford City. Now, I think some fans might potentially overreact with this signing. I think it's a good signing, maybe a 7 out of 10, but he hasn't played good, consistent football for at least 18 months, potentially pushing 2 years now. So that does concern me a little bit. I'm hoping he can just slot straight back in, and he does have quite a good relationship with the fans. We've seen for a number of years now, anytime that he tweets something, I think he watched our game against Walsall, the fans are obviously straight around that, and even when he's employed by Peterborough, you can still tell that he wants to be at Bradford City, and I think that's a very important thing, having players who want to be here. It's only a deal until the end of the season, so he does have a bit of a point to prove, which I don't mind in a 25-year-old. It's not like we're signing a 38-year-old Matt Derbyshire again. Crichlow does have a lot of qualities, and I think on the ball, he's a very good ball player. At times he can maybe overplay a little bit, but I certainly think there's a very good player in Romoney Crichlow. Just defensively, it does concern me a little bit. I think in that 22-23 playoff season, Stubbs and Platt defensively were both better than him, whereas Crichlow obviously was a lot better on the ball. So I am a little bit concerned from that point of view. I don't think you can play Baldwin and Crichlow in the same team. I think it's got to be one or the other, but then who are you going to play at right centre-half? We'll obviously speak about our squad later in today's video, but with it looking pretty likely that Kelly will miss a large part of the season. Shepherd's played a lot of football recently in the middle. Could this potentially mean Neil Byrne moves on? If we have a look then at how Bradford City's squad is now lining up for the 2024-25 season, as you can see, we are looking pretty strong for options in the central defence, but as we know, Kelly, obviously hamstring injury. Lewis Richards, we don't know the extent of his shoulder injury, so could we maybe go in for another left wing back? Pete O'Rourke has reported that we've agreed a deal for a keeper from Blackburn Rovers, so obviously when that does get announced, I will make a video on it later on, especially with potentially Oliver going to Shrewsbury as well, so I still would expect a lot of videos to be coming out today. But I would say our best back three at this moment in time would be Johnson on the right, Huntington in the middle, and Shepherd on the left. Crichlow has a point to prove with him, I would assume, playing for Peterborough in the Football League Trophy this season. I will just double check that actually. Football League Trophy. He hasn't played for Peterborough in the Football League Trophy, or at least according to SofaScore, so he could play tomorrow against Rotherham, because obviously he will have been registered in time. I'm not going to speak about the squad too much because there's still a lot more business to be done. I don't want to repeat myself loads in today's videos that come out. My overall thoughts then on this move, I think it's a solid signing at 7 out of 10. Replaces Kieran Kelly, who obviously is going to miss now a large part of this season with that injury. That's certainly the impression that I get. I don't think we'd go out and sign a permanent centre-half if Kelly's not going to be out for a long time. So it's frustrating, but I do think it is a good sign. And I do have my concerns about Crichlow defensively, but there's obviously no doubt in his technical ability, and it brings us some much needed pace in that defence as well. So I do think on the whole we have been quite slow there. But if we go back to Saturday's game away at AFC Wimbledon, do you really want Romoney Crichlow in that type of game, or do you want someone more bigger and more physical like a Kieran Kelly? So I do have my slight concerns, but I do think it is a good signing on the whole. But I just hope this isn't going to be a case of Dion Pereira 2.0, Tyreek Wright 2.0 and 3.0, where a player has a good first spell with the club and then when they return they're absolutely awful. So fingers crossed this does work out. Deal until the end of the season. He's smart from the club. They've protected themselves, but they've also given the option of a further year if he does do well for us. So I'm looking forward to seeing him back in a Bradford City shirt, not wearing his number 24 that he's obviously taken by Jack Shepherd. So he will now be rocking the number 30 shirt. But if you've enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. 200 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, will be massively appreciated. And don't forget to get all your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Go subscribe to more SHD as well. There's loads of content coming out over there, and I'll see you very soon for another one.